Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So the other day I was scrolling through Reddit and I came across this list that someone made on Instagram and posted the link on there. And the list was called the top 50 Wonder Kids in world football. Basically the best youngsters in the world. And when I saw the list, there were some things that rubbed me the wrong way that I want to talk to you guys in today's video and give you guys my opinion on why I think this list is a little bit off. Now, full disclosure, the full list, the 50-person list, it's not terrible. I'm not going to go through the whole thing today because it's 50 and it's way too many. We're mostly going to focus on the top 15 and mostly going to focus on the top 2 because I have a big problem with the top 2, but we'll get to that a little bit later. But yeah, today we're going to go on, we're going to focus on the top 15. If you guys want to see the whole list, I'll leave a link to their Instagram page down below so you guys can go see it. And yeah, man, enough yapping. Let's start reacting to this list because I got a lot of things I have to say. So starting off with the top 15, right off the bat, we have a problem. Kendrick Bias at 15 is disgraceful. He should be a lot higher than that. Kendrick Bias is one of the best talents that I've ever seen come out of South America. This kid is insane. He's obviously going to join Chelsea very, very soon here. So people will be able to see how insane this kid is. And do me a favor, guys, if you're watching this, please do me this one favor. Watch Ecuador in the Copa America and watch how good Kendrick Bias is. He's a generational talent, and I mean that when I say it. He should be a lot higher than 15th. Kendrick Bias is insane. He's so good. He has a nasty left foot. His shot is so powerful. He's so good on the ball. He has great vision. He's very strong on the ball as well. Kendrick Bias, to me, again, it's maybe people don't watch South American football, but I do, and I watch Kendrick Bias a lot. And this kid is insane. You guys are going to see in the Copa America, this guy's going to have a breakthrough Copa America. He's going to be amazing for Chelsea when he joins them. Kendrick Bias, to me, should be at least in the top 10. He's one of the, like I said, he's one of the best talents that I've ever seen come out of South America in the past 15 years. I honestly mean that. But then, you know, we talked about Kendrick Bias. Now we have to talk about Pau Cubarsí. And this is where I start to have a problem with this list. Pau Cubarsí at 14 is disgraceful, man. It is disgraceful, and having Gabriel Moscado ahead of Pau Cubarsí is crazy, bro. It is crazy. Pau Cubarsí, I mean, he came into Barcelona in the second half of the year and completely transformed that back line the way I've never seen a 17-year-old do. I mean, this kid is 17 and was one of the best defenders in world football for the whole second half of the year. His poise on the ball is insane. His IQ is crazy. His last-ditch tackling ability is insane. His long passing, his short passing. This kid has everything to be one of the best center backs this game has ever seen. Pau Cubarsí is that good, and having him at 14th and having Gabriel Moscado, who is a really good player, ahead of him is crazy. Pau Cubarsí is the best young center back in the world, in my opinion. Maybe there's another guy you can make an argument for, which we're going to see later on this list. But Pau Cubarsí, to me, having him at 14, it is insane. I don't understand how you can come to that conclusion. Pau Cubarsí, again, to me, you could say I'm Barca biased, but I think if you watch Pau Cubarsí enough, you know he deserves to be in the top 10 because this guy, like I said, simply came into Barcelona with Joao Cancelo playing next to him for like a lot of games, who's obviously we know he's a defensive liability, and held together that back line for the latter part of the year. And again, he had some off games towards the end, but the whole Barca back line had off games. It wasn't just Pau Cubarsí. He was actually, along with Koundé, one of our only bright spots because we know Araujo and Cancelo, both of them, especially towards the end of the year, weren't great. They just weren't great at all, especially Cancelo, who's just awful defensively. And to me, Pau Cubarsí, what I saw him do, again, you could say it's Barca glaze, but I don't think it is, man. I think it's just being objective and seeing that a kid who came into a first team, obviously in Barcelona, and completely transformed their backline. To me, Pau Cubarsí should be at least in the top 10. There's no doubt about that. Echeverri in the obviously at number 12. I mean, Echeverri to me should be higher as well. Echeverri's insane. You guys are gonna see when he joins Man City. This kid is a fucking he's a beast. He is a beast for River Plate. Arthur Vermeeren, he's good. In my opinion, obviously, he's a really, really good, promising player for Atletico Madrid. I think Pau Cubarsí should be ahead of him. But again, my biggest gripe in the top 15 is that I think Kendrick Bias and Pau Cubarsí should both be higher. Do I think Echeverri should be higher than Kendrick Bias? I think they're pretty tight, but I would give the slight edge to Kendrick Bias because I think Kendrick Bias is that good. Again, if you guys are going to watch my Chelsea in the Copa America, you're going to see how good this kid is. You're going to remember me, I promise you. But yeah, to me, that's my biggest problem with the top 15. But the top with 15 through 11, sorry, like the first 5. But again, my biggest problem wasn't with the top 15. Let's move on to the top 10 now, and let me tell you guys why I'm really upset with this list. Now we're starting off with the top 10 from 10 to number 6. We have Desiree Doué, we have Lenny Yoro, we have Victor Roque, we have Kenan Yildiz, and we have Kobbie Mainoo. First of all, Lenny Yoro, he's the only other guy, in my opinion, you could talk about as best young center back in the world, along with Pau Cubarsí. And we know Lenny's being linked to a lot of big teams right now. He's being linked to Real Madrid. He's being linked to PSG. I think Real Madrid are actually going to snatch him away from PSG. That's what I've been hearing recently from, not me like personally, but what Fabrizio's been reporting. I don't have any contacts inside the club, I promise. But to me, obviously, I think Pau Cubarsí is better than Lenny, but again, you could say I'm biased, but I do think that both of those guys are fighting for best young center back in world football. Victor Roque at number 8, I'm fine with that. I think Roque has shown enough when he was obviously in Brazil that he's good enough to be in the top 10. Now, obviously, Barcelona hasn't been the best for him because our manager refused to play him and kind of had like a grudge against him. For what reason, I don't know why. It still kind of baffles me that Xavi refused to play a talent like Victor Roque, which it seems like everybody else realizes he's really, really good, but our manager was the only guy that was like, no, you know what, I don't believe in this kid, which is kind of crazy to me. But I do think Victor Roque, again, had a down season, not a down season because he barely played, but he was obviously not as impactful as you want him to be at Barca when he came in from Brazil in January. But there's a reason why this guy came in January, because Barca needed him. Now, again, our manager didn't use him, but I think Roque, once he starts getting more consistent playing time and he can actually be a part of the first team and not have a manager who hates him, who's actively trying to get rid of him, I think he's going to showcase how good he really is, because I do think Victor Roque, when I watched him in Brazil, he's that good of a player, and I think obviously that's why Barca bought him. That's why he was one of the most sought-out youngsters in the world. It wasn't just Barca that wanted Roque. It was a lot of top European teams, and obviously he came to Barca, which I'm super happy about. But yeah, to me, I'm fine with like 10 through 8. Here's the thing with me, and obviously we'll get to the top 5, and I'll tell you guys who I would replace there. But for me, I think Kobbie Mainoo should be in the top 5. I think Kobbie Mainoo, what he did this year with Man United was nothing short of remarkable. I mean, this kid, his ball progression is elite. His IQ is elite. His awareness on the pitch is honestly insane. For a 19-year-old, I mean, this kid is so aware and he's so impactful in so many different ways. I think when it's all said and done, Kobbie Mainoo could go down as one of the best midfielders that England has ever produced. And that's obviously me giving him high praise, because we know England has a very rich history with amazing midfielders going back to Lampard and Gerrard and Scholes and all those guys, obviously. I think Kobbie Mainoo could be in that list. Now, for me, Kobbie Mainoo, he basically carried that Man United midfield for the second half of the year. Now, it was mostly because of necessity, because Man United were obviously dealing with an insane injury crisis, and also Man United just weren't very good. So kind of like Barca, you got to kind of chuck in the youngsters and see if you get anything out of it. And they got a lot out of it. I mean, him and Diallo, but mostly Mainoo, they proved that, you know, the future's bright. And obviously Garnacho, by the way, did not make this list. I don't think he did not make the top 20, by the way, which is crazy. I don't even think he made the list. Let me check. Yeah, this is crazy. Alejandro Garnacho did not make the top 50 Wonder Kids in the world, which is insane. I don't know how they're classifying Wonder Kid, but Garnacho should definitely be on that list. He didn't make the top 50, but that's crazy. But anyway, go back to Kobbie Mainoo. I definitely think he should be in the top 5, because what I saw from him this year, I mean, if I was a United fan, I'd be very, very excited about the future of this kid, because again, like I said, he's simply, in my opinion, like I said with Kendrick Bias, and I know people might think I throw this word around loosely, but these kids are really generational. I mean, these are guys who are going to be the future of football. And for me, Kobbie Mainoo, again, he should be in the top 5 for me. But now let's get into the top 5, because this is really, I know I'm edging you guys a lot, but this is really where I have my biggest prime with this list, and you guys are going to see why right now. Alright, so here we are, the top 5. It consists of Matthias Tel, obviously with Bayern Munich. We have Arda Güler, we have Warren Zaire-Emery, we have Lamine Yamal at number 2, and we have Endrick at number 1. You guys can obviously guess right now what my biggest prime with this list is. But first, let's keep on going with the Kobbie Mainoo thing, who I would replace him with in the top 5. I would take out Arda Güler and I would put in Kobbie Mainoo in the top 5. Now, people might think, oh my god, you're a Real Madrid hater. No, I'm not. I'm really not. I think Arda Güler is a great player. But Arda Güler, I mean, he's playing in a team. It's not really his fault, because Real Madrid don't really need Arda Güler right now, because they're so fucking stacked, especially in that position that he plays. But Arda Güler, when he played, he was really, really good. But Kobbie Mainoo, to me, it just proved more. I mean, there's no reason, like, if you watch both of these guys this year, again, granted, they play totally different roles, but if you watch both of them this year, there's no way you could say that Arda Güler was more impactful than Kobbie Mainoo. I think Kobbie Mainoo was more impactful. I think he earned being in the top 5. Now again, Arda Güler plays on a stock team. Man United and Real Madrid are kind of the opposite, where, you know, Real Madrid are, like I said, have a lot of talent. Man United were kind of lacking that this year, especially in the midfield position, and that's why Kobbie Mainoo was kind of thrusted into that team the way he was. But still, what Kobbie Mainoo, like the skill set that he possesses, to me, he should be in the top 5 over Arda Güler. But again, what Arda Güler did this year was amazing. Every time he played for Real Madrid later on in the year, he found a way to make an impact, and he could very well go down as the best Turkish player ever. Obviously, there's, like off the top of my head, I'm thinking of Canaroglu, like he's the only other guy in that conversation. Maybe he's not even in that conversation. Maybe just some Turkish people, but I don't know. Again, Arda Güler, he should be, in my opinion, like at number 6, number 7, maybe even number 8. And I think Kobbie Mainoo should be in the top 5. Matthias Tel, I'm good with that. I think he's amazing. I think he should have gotten more playing time for Bayern this year. And the kid's generational. Zaire-Emery at 3, no problem with that. I mean, the guy is insanely good, and he's going to be one of the best midfielders in the world if he's not already. Kid's crazy. But now we go into the top 2. And the top 2 is Lamine Yamal at 2 and Endrick at 1. I'm so fucking sick and tired of this Endrick PR. I'm so done with it, bro. I don't know if it's Real Madrid PR or Endrick PR. I'm done with it, bro. It's like he's an industry plant. Honestly, he is. This is so fucking weird. There's nothing that you could say that, like, no one with an actual, like, functioning brain would ever say that Endrick is a better youngster than Lamine Yamal. Lamine Yamal is one of the best youngsters football has ever seen. Lamine Yamal has proven himself in Europe, against Real Madrid, in the Bernabeu, in the UCL, against PSG. Lamine Yamal is that guy. Endrick has never proven himself at that level. He's playing obviously in Brazil right now, which is great. I think Endrick's going to be a really, really good player. But to put him over Lamine Yamal, you can make a case Endrick shouldn't be in the top 5, bro. You can really make a case Endrick should not be in the top 5. And to have him at number 1 over Lamine Yamal, who simply came into Barcelona and basically carried that attack along with Rafinha for the whole second half of the year. For the first half of the year, was our best attacker. He was a top 3 player for Barcelona this year. For Barcelona, we're not talking about Aston Villa. We're not talking about West Ham. We're not talking about Celta Vigo. We're talking about Barcelona, one of the biggest institutions in world football. And this kid comes into that team, and he was one of the few bright spots on the ball. There's nobody really like him. I mean, the kid's insane. He's such a great dribbler. He's so composed. Yes, sometimes his decision making is poor. He needs to work on his finishing. That's fine. But what we've seen from Lamine Yamal at his age is much greater than what we've seen from Endrick at his age. And I think, like I said, I think Endrick's going to be good. I think he's going to go into Real Madrid next year and prove a lot of people, and prove himself and be like, you know what, all this hype, it's justified because I'm that good. But we're just speculating about how good he's going to be in Europe. Like the same way I'm doing with Kendrick Pass. We're just speculating. But with Lamine Yamal, we know how he's going to do in Europe because he's doing it right now. He's doing it for Spain. He's going to do it in the Euros. And maybe Endrick does it in the Copa America as well. I have no doubt that he will. But to not have Lamine Yamal at number 1, to me, is crazy. I think even the biggest Real Madrid fans and the biggest Barca haters will tell you Lamine Yamal is the best youngster in the world. He just simply is. There's really no other way to put it, guys. No matter how you want to slice it, Barcelona have the best youngster in world football. In world football. And what Lamine Yamal has done for this team is something like he's one of the few reasons why I'm actually looking forward to Barca's future, because I can actually sit here and say, you know what, maybe we have a future top 10 player of all time with Lamine Yamal. He's 16 years old, bro, and he's already a starter, a cemented starter. Like when the season starts next year, you know who the right wing position belongs to? It belongs to Lamine Yamal. You know who Endrick has to compete with? He has to compete with Mbappe and Vini and Rodrigo and all those guys in that front line, because obviously Madrid have a more talented team. But even if Barca had, I don't know, pick your winger, man. Lamine Yamal will compete for that position. He would compete for that position 100%. So for me, Lamine Yamal at number 2 is blasphemous. And if you guys go look at the comments section on the Reddit post and even on Instagram, I'm sure people are flaming them for putting Lamine Yamal at 2, because even the biggest Madrid fans, like I said, they know it's not even a contest who's number 1. It's Lamine Yamal. And Endrick, like I said, I have no hate in my heart towards Endrick. I do think that his PR and the whole trying to make him the next Pele thing is kind of weird in my opinion. I'm not a fan of that, but you can make an argument he should not be in the top 5. You can make an argument that Matthias Tell should be higher than Endrick. You can make an argument that even fucking, I don't know, Arda Güler should be higher than Endrick. You can make a lot of arguments as to, I could even make the argument if I wanted to, honestly, and I'm not going to do it, but if I wanted to, I can make the argument that Pau Cubarsí belongs ahead of Endrick. Again, totally different roles, and obviously you're going to value an attacker more because they're closer to goal and they can obviously affect the game in more in the most important way, which is scoring and assisting. But Pau Cubarsí, I mean, what we saw from him in Europe, in Barcelona, we saw that already. You know what I mean? So for me, having Endrick at number 1 and Lamine Yamal at 2 is something that as soon as I saw it, I knew I had to make a video about it, because there's no way people actually believe this. I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't know if it's Madrid PR or Endrick PR, which we know there's a lot of right now, because the kid's just everywhere. And just wait till he gets to Madrid. He's not even in Madrid right now. Wait till he gets to Madrid and see how the PR is going to go crazy. But anyway, I just wanted to go through the list, talk about it with you guys. If you guys agree or disagree, please let me know in the comment section down below. Again, I'm not trying to fucking sit here and just clown Endrick and shit on Endrick, because I do think he's going to be a really, really good player, a very talented player, and he's going to be amazing in Europe for years to come. But to have him ahead of Lamine Yamal, as of right now, from what we've seen from Lamine Yamal, we're not projecting anymore. It's honestly blasphemous to me. But yeah, that's the end of the video, guys. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.